Good evening and welcome to this week in review. Tonight's stories include Salvation Army held open air service on Friday, Burgeo Foodland held their open house on Sunday, renovation to the town hall continues. These stories plus community events, the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack and more coming up after this.
After you've seen the whales and the icebergs and the fjords, come witness a natural wonder. A Saturday night, St. John's, Newfoundland. Imagine that.
The Salvation Army Men's Fellowship from Stephenville visited Burgeo on Friday, June the 2nd for an open air service. Quite a crowd gathered in front of the town hall for this open air service. Many people stayed in the comfort of their vehicles since it was a little cold. Major Kelvin Collins welcomed everyone. The group played a variety of gospel songs and also took requests from the crowd. Everyone seemed to enjoy the service. We will be showing the open air service in its entirety at a later date. On Sunday of this week, the residents of Burgeo were invited to the open house of the new Burgeo Foodland store. We took our cameras up to have a look around. A large crowd gathered outside the store for the ribbon cutting ceremony. Mayor Ann brought greetings from the town. Our MHA Calvin Parsons was on hand to offer his congratulations. Mr. Henry Pike, Vice President and General Manager of TRI Newfoundland, and Mona Parsons, the last customer in the former Foodland, were given the honor of helping to cut the ribbon. Then the doors was opened and everyone was given an opportunity to look around at the new store. Residents took their time looking around the wide aisles, which gives the customer more room to move around, and the well-stocked shelves offers a wide variety of products to choose from. There is also an impressive produce department, meat department, and the bakery seemed to draw the biggest crowd. The new Foodland store opened for business on Monday, June the 12th. We congratulate Mr. Ingram and his staff on the new store and wish them every success for the future. We took our cameras to the town hall on Thursday of this week to check out the progress being made to the renovations. 9 workers were hired to construct a 16 by 52 extension to the town hall. Construction began on Monday, May the 8th and is expected to run until Friday, July the 14th. The extension has been completed and some of the siding has been completed as well. We spoke to Bruce Foote, foreperson with the project, and he informed us that they expect to have all the siding done by next week as well as the drywall. When we visited, the workers were busy with a variety of carpentry work, including putting up insulation and drywall. Outside, other workers were busy working on the siding. The electrician was also on hand wiring for the new lighting. The waiting area in the outreach office will be larger. There will be a new HRD office for Jerry, which will be located at the end of this hallway, and Hida will have more office space as well. Across the hallway from Hida, there will be a copy room and a coffee room. Next to the HRD office will be a storage area, and then it will be the new BDDB office. Up this corridor will be the new council chambers. On the left-hand side will be the mayor's office with a storage space, and across the hall will be an office for Teresa Peterson, the BDDB assistant. The town manager will have a new and larger office as well. All the new offices will have a drop ceiling. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
This is the place where the dawn breaks earliest, the new year comes soonest, where the Atlantic first meets the New World, the oldest city in North America, the far east of the Western world. Imagine that.
Come for a good time and we'll sweep you off your feet with jigs and reels and festivals and the world's most friendly folk. Dance your cares away at the Kelligrew Soiree. Imagine that.
We visited the St. John's Central High School on Thursday of this week to take a look at their wall art. One of the students involved in the painting of the wall art invited us to the school to take a look at the art that, in his opinion, was cool. We spoke to Mr. Linehan, and he informed us that just after graduation the decision was made to try to make the school a more pleasant and cheerful environment. Any student that was interested could draw any subject of their choice on the walls around the school. Most of the wall art was done with the help of an overhead projector, but some was done with freehand, like this one. And many of these drawings add very fine details, like this one. The corridor leading to the Industrial Arts class and the It class has become known as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Plans are in the process to have the words Rock and Roll Hall of Fame over these doors. We would like to thank the student who told us about the St. John's Central High wall art. He wasn't kidding when he said it was cool. Now over to Mayor Ann with the council report.
Good evening. Burgeo Town Council held its regular meeting on Wednesday, June the 7th. We held the meeting at 7 p.m. that evening. However, on that afternoon, the councillors, even though it wasn't a council meeting, the councillors, we did meet with our MHA and Minister Calvin Parsons. We met with him from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 4:30, and we went over various items of interest to Burgeo. Of course, the two main being the capital works funding for the year 2000 regarding the arena, and the other thing was the fish plant, and if there was anything new regarding that. And at our meeting on that night at 7 p.m., the first item for discussion, of course, was the fish plant. And as you know, our MHA and our MP, Mr. Bill Matthews, they're playing the lead role in this. Bill Matthews is working on a certain angle for Burgeo. He's got no reason to be pessimistic that there won't be something come through. However, you know, there's nothing guaranteed, and there's a lot of red tape and a lot of hurdles to go through, and it's gradually working its way through the system. What the final outcome will be, I'm sure we don't know. Mr. Parsons assured us that Premier Tobin has been well informed as to what's happening regarding Burgeo. And he has promised to assist us in any way that he can. What we're doing here is, Burgeo, we don't need an operator. We got an operator for our plant. We've got a fish plant, but we need a resource. And to get that resource, Ottawa has got the key. So therefore, you know, there's not a big lot that the Premier or anybody else can do until we can somehow pry this away from Ottawa. So therefore, you know, this is time consuming and there's no guarantees in anything. However, I did write a letter during the week to Minister Dhaliwal, and that was based on what the crab landings has been outside 200 mile in the regular fishery so far this year. Reports getting back to me, the catches are good out there. So I've written Minister Dhaliwal and asked him, pleaded with him, to reevaluate our request during the months of July and August, and if at all possible, to allocate us a 2,500 or 3,000 pound quota for the fall, probably beginning in September. Mr. Bill Matthews advised me that he has also written a letter along the same lines to Mr. Dhaliwal, and Mr. Kelvin Parson has also drafted a letter for Burjo's case and have sent it to Mr. Dhaliwal. So it's a case of we're still trying to see what we can pry out some way for the Burjo fish plant. However, I would like to advise people at this time, there's nothing, I've got no indication that our plant will be open in the year 2000. So I would advise people that if you've got alternate plans made to obtain employment, then I think you should proceed as if the plant will not be opening. And if we should be lucky enough that it do open, then at least that will be a plus. I don't know what we can do about the plant. If there's people out there who do know, then by all means get your own little committee, get your action group or whatever, and do whatever you can to get the plant open. We do get rumors of things that are starting to move in Ramya and so on. Well, if things are moving in Ramya, then I'm very glad to hear that. Good news is always a good thing to hear, and if the people of Ramya are lucky enough to entice Japanese to purchase their plant and open it, well, good for them. I don't know where the Japanese are going to come up with the product, and don't be carried away with all of the rumors that sometimes get flying around. There is people working on behalf of the town of Burjo, I can assure you that. However, we can only do so much. The last news that I got from Ramya that the sheriff's office had been there, and liens has been placed on the property. There's no electricity on the plant, and so on. So if you want to pit one place against the other, well then by all means go do it. But if I had my choice today, where I would rather be sitting is sitting in Burjo than sitting in Ramya. The town manager informed us at the meeting that we have acquired 4 new firemen for the fire department. We were very pleased to hear this. The new firemen are Brent Porter, Harvey Billard, Jeff Eyre from West Muddyole, and a Mr. Halbert Ingram. I would personally like to, and on behalf of the town council, thank these 4 gentlemen for coming forward and volunteering for our fire department. This is what we need. We need volunteers and young people who are starting to be community-minded. And while I'm on this subject of thanking, I would like to thank Mr. Gerald McDonald and George Reed for offering themselves for nomination, and they're also members of our town council. And very disappointing, however, to see that more people didn't put their foot forward. There's more out there can do it, and take an interest in the town and start getting involved in running HITS affairs. Our 50th anniversary, which will be June the 17th, came in for a fairly lengthy discussion. Town council is fairly excited over the occasion. Almost everyone celebrates a 50th anniversary, and there's no reason why we shouldn't celebrate ours. A complete itinerary will be put on TV, and we really would like the town to come out in full force and help us celebrate. Decorate your property, fly a flag or 2 or 3 or however many you got. Maybe even put on a few Christmas lights. I think anything goes. There will be fireworks display that night up at the rink. Like I say, a full itinerary will be given. However, the Lieutenant Governor and quite a few government dignitaries will be taking part. The Lieutenant Governor and his wife arrives at 11:30 that morning, and there will be tours around town and to the hospital and the seniors complex, the museum, the park. He's going for a boat ride. However, at 3 o'clock that afternoon, their honors are taken by car to the hockey rink. His Honor takes position for playing of the Vice Regal Salute by RCCS Corps Bob Bartlett. There will be welcoming address by Mr. Calvin Parsons, Mr. Bill Matthews, and myself. And His Honor passes by the Bob Bartlett members and express appreciation for their participation and so on. It would be really, really helpful if as many residents as possible turned out at the rink to welcome His Honor and to take part in that part of the festivity. There will be a meal at the community center at 7:30 p.m. for invited guests. It would be very nice if we could have a place large enough so that everyone could have taken part. However, that's not possible, as you well know. And so therefore, we've invited the past councillors and so on and so forth, people who has taken part in our community. So, and that night, however, there is a dance on the rink. There will be no cover charge. A&A Disco will be providing the music. We really would like to see everybody come out and take part in Burjo's 50th anniversary of municipal government. I don't think it's asking too much, and I would like for you to take notice to the activities. They will be put on television, the itinerary for the day, and I think we all should become involved, and hopefully it will be a success. There will be a fair number of dignitaries from the outside. It's too bad that the Mayor's Forum is going on in Gander on the same day, or else I'm sure there will be more people from outside attending. I know that the president of the Federation of Municipalities has still got his fingers crossed and hoping some way he's going to be able to hook a helicopter ride so he can take part in part of the festivities. So therefore keep June the 17th, next Saturday, on your list and make up your mind to come out and enjoy yourself. Capital Works funding, as you know, we applied for Capital Works funding for our stadium, and that was turned down to a certain extent. In other words, we didn't get the grant that we applied for. However, $50,000 has been made available, and it was a decision at council last night that the council would accept the $50,000 and will accept anything above that on a dollar-for-dollar basis. What that means is if the government should, during the year, after they reevaluate and so on, if they should come up with more funding, that for every dollar they put in, we'll put in a dollar, and at least we'll start getting the recreation complex off the ground and start getting it moving, and as far as we feel that we could get the engineering done and so on, and we could have an investment of $100,000 at least put into the new recreation complex for this year. Council also decided that, and it was unanimously supported and approved, that we would purchase a war memorial and place it on the excuse me, and that will be placed in the same area that the Siemens Monument presently stands. The approval was given to purchase. A selection has been made, and the town manager will be looking into the fine details, and hopefully that we can have the new monument erected before November the 11th of this year. It's a long time in coming, but I think every councillor there was of the opinion it's something that our town should have, and therefore we've decided to go ahead and do it. Swings, the two swings which were put on the playground, the council just touched on this. We're undecided what we'll do, whether we'll repair the swings and try to find some other location to put them, or whether we'll just get rid of them. A decision hasn't been made on that yet. It was very disappointing to find that we have young people in our town who are adults in body, but not too adult when it comes to their minds. They seem to get a great kick out of beating things up, capsizing garbage tins, tearing down signs, and so on. It's just too bad, you know. I really would like for them to probably come forward and submit their own names because, you know, people who carry out such heroic deeds should be awarded, and it's possible that, you know, anybody who is so heroic that they can beat up a swing and tip over a garbage can probably should be recommended for the Order of Canada or something like that. But it's time to grow up. That's all I can say to this. Invoices in the amount of $8,211 was approved for payment. And I would just like to remind people to keep your property clean. If possible, maybe even go out and sweep the bit of pavement in front of you just to make our town look a little bit more shiny. And I would particularly like to extend from council thanks to the people who cleaned up our town this spring and made it look so nice and so presentable. And it would be great now if we could only encourage people to use the containers that have been placed by the road for garbage. Thank you.
Stay with us for Off the Rack, the community events, and the BBS Playbill. All after this.
There's gannets and puffins, kittiwakes and murres, guillemots, petrels and owls. And you can see where the eagle has landed. Imagine that.
It's a land with over 10,000 miles of coastline, thousands of inlets, coves, guts, and bays. A land that lives by the sea. No wonder our dogs have webbed feet. Imagine that.
Off the Rack. This week as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of the Dr. Show's Walk for Life, sponsored by the Girl Guides. Let's look back to June 1990.
Can hypnotize. When glory has faded, the dream is worth more than the prize. Twist and turn that flame of freedom burning bright. Knows all of the names, all of the games of the yellow, black and white. We gotta have faith. Working out faith and hope, without a doubt, give us strength to make us start and put a song in our hearts. We're never gonna break down walls and build up bridges with the stone. You and I know if this is what we'll build heaven on earth. Running in the wheels of fortune, turning water into wine. We're gonna take love and make it shine. We're gonna find peace in our time. We're gonna find peace in our time. When there is lightning in the sky, when rivers are rising and trouble rolls in on the tide, we'll keep on keeping on till all the tears are dry. We'll weather the storm and welcome the dawn of tomorrow. You and I, we gotta have faith and get it fast, faith and hope, and let it last. Give us strength put a song in our heart. We're never gonna break down walls and build up bridges with the stone. You and I know if this is worth, we're gonna build heaven on earth. We're running in the wheels of fortune, turning water into wine. We're gonna take love and make it shine. We're gonna find peace in our time. And the sign of the dove, it's gonna shine, 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 shine. On a wing, in a prayer, we'll be fine, fine, fine. People, don't you believe in what you see? Surrounded by fire and magic, are you really free? It's heating up along the avenue. Raising the dust, it's heaven above. We will see this dream come true. We're gonna have faith. The road will be long. Now there's hope to carry us on. We'll have strength. We'll never go wrong with this song in our hearts.
Good evening and welcome to the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm Jennifer Marks. The Burgeo Men's Softball League will host the next scheduled TV bingo on Wednesday, June 14th at 7 p.m. Cards are $1 each or $65 and are available from any member of the Men's Softball League and are in most stores around town. Please support the Men's Softball League and play TV bingo. You could be the next winner of $300. All active participants in the Little Shift program are asked to please pick up their certificates at the Family Resource Center before Wednesday, June 14th. The BDDB will be hosting 6 students from Ireland during the week of June 18th. These students are between the ages of 18 and 23 and will visit the Burgeo Ramia area. The BDDB is requesting the public's assistance in providing billets for these students. Billets are required for 3 students for June 18th and 19th and 3 students for June 20th and 21st. If you are interested or would like further information, please contact the BDD office at 886-2302. The Family Resident Council are selling tickets on a basket of towels. Anyone who would like to sell tickets, or if you would like to buy some, can pick them up at the hospital. There will be no school for students at A.J. Matthews Elementary on Monday, June 12th, and the morning session on Tuesday because teachers will be involved in an in-service. Have a great long weekend. June 17, 2000 is the town's 50th year as a municipality. The general public of Burgeo is invited to attend the following activities. 3 p.m. a Meet the Youth tattoo at the hockey rink. Youth groups have been invited to take part in a parade ceremony which will be led by the RCSCC Bob Bartlett. There will be a vice-regal salute to the Lieutenant Governor, a march pass, inspection of the Guard and Colour Party, and a Guard and Senior Drill Team display. The Lieutenant Governor will do a walk about to meet our town's youth. At 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., hot dogs, fries, and soft drinks will be served on the hockey rink for the youth. A&I Disco will be playing. At 10:30, fireworks display at the hockey rink, and at 11 p.m. there will be an adult dance at the hockey rink. Cost of the dance is sponsored by the town. There will be a cash bar operated by the Lions Club. The town council encourages everyone in town to get involved in saying Happy 50th Burgeo by flying flags, putting up lights, decorating windows, or whatever you would like to do from June 17th to 24th to commemorate the incorporation of our town. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we will be happy to advertise it for you. Just call the BBS office by Wednesdays of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Try our luck on Wednesday by playing the Men's Softball League TV Bingo. Following the bingo, we will have a video compliments of the RCMP entitled Gearing Up, a Guide to Safe Cycling. Tune in on Thursday when we'll have a video entitled Choice, a drug education video. Join Pansy and the gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. Next Sunday at 6:30 p.m. we will have a Salvation Army open air service. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night and God bless.